we're not an agrarian society. I have, other than my emergency supplies, I go to the market every week. We got to get to the point that all of us have something preserved. And then another big thing, have a God bag. Get out of Dodge. Every car should have at least 2 or 3 days worth of emergency supplies. You can pick a God bag up cheap for like $75 or make your own. Have your car ready to, be prepared as well. It's the whole Boy Scout thing. Be prepared.
And see, I've got EMP shields in my vehicles too, but the danger of it is that if you're on the highway, which is one of the reasons why people need to be paying very close attention to what I'm about to say here, because we got 1 minute left in this segment. And that is, you're out on the, oh yeah, I'm sorry, Dr. Bill. God, I wish we could just keep this going. If in fact, you know what? I think if you can hang on, Patrick Barnes with EMP Shield's going to be on. I think I need to put the two of you together and we need to have a conversation. That's what I think needs to happen.
Okay, I can't stay the full half hour, but I can stay for 15 more minutes.
That's fine. We're going to bring Patrick Barnes with EMP Shield in on the horn, and we're going to have a conversation with Dr. Bill Forstchen. I love this opportunity, folks, because you don't get this kind of stuff in mainstream media. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Buy from the good guys at thepowermall.com. That's thepowermall.com.
Wow, we've got a big show going down right now. 32 minutes after the hour of 8 a.m. Central Time, Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. And of course, if you know what's going on over in Ireland right now, Sleepy Joe's over there trying to promote peace in Northern Ireland. He doesn't even have peace in his own backyard. And he's over there like the pathological liar that he is. And of course, we're having a discussion over here about the reality when he's in La La Land. So the reality is we've been talking for the last hour with Dr. Bill Forstchen and Patrick Barnes. He's on the line with us. I had to keep him on. Patrick Barnes from EMP Shield is joining us now for this particular segment of the Power Hour. And we get to ask questions because Patrick is the director of company development for EMP Shield. And of course, if you go to empshield.com and use the code TPH or DK, either one of those, for Dave Kreiger, you're going to get a discount, all right? We want you to outfit your property and your panels and everything like I've done your vehicles with EMP Shield. But Bill and I had questions. First off, I want to introduce the two of you.
Sure.
Go ahead, Bill.
Well, it's a pleasure, and you teach me because I need more information. So it's a pleasure to be with you, sir. I'm going to sit back and listen.
Well, no, one of the questions we had, Patrick, was about solar panels and people that are like going to Lion Energy and they're buying all these American-made products. Sure. And they're saying basically, and you look like you're in the know because you're glued to these guys to the hip. So I'm kind of looking at the situation going, okay, as far as EMP Shield goes, I know that we have the antennas. We have the EMP Shield for your coaxial antenna because we just had a caller say, hey, we need to plug this into your CB radio. Everybody needs to get one, and as well as ham radios to protect your antenna. And now then we moved on to solar panels and the EMP Shield. You actually make one that you can put on the solar panel, the inverter, the battery, all that, like you do with the generators, which I did here at the house. So I'm kind of curious. The bigger question that we had was the integrity of the unit in protecting the solar panel from not just a coronal mass ejection or solar flare, but an actual EMP strike.
Sure. Well, so first of all, thank you guys very much. I'm humbled and honored to be on the air with the likes of yourselves. I'm a longtime listener, first time caller, so this is awesome. It's great to be here, guys. So to talk specifically on the solar side, yes, we can absolutely protect the solar side. And the way that we do that is we look at the maximum output of your charge controller and we size a device per your solar system. So however your solar system is set up, we can work with it. It doesn't matter if you're grid tied, not grid tied. We can work with you. We can devise something if we don't already have something to take care of that and protect for you. So, in terms of integrity, the initial round of testing, when we sent it out to Keystone Labs out on the East Coast, we hit this thing over 40 times with zero degradation. The next round of testing, we sent it out to Meditech on the West Coast, again, over 90 times with no degradation.
That is amazing. And you're talking about zapping solar panels with EMP?
Yeah, we zapped our device with EMP. So we hit this thing out on the West Coast over 90 times with 90,000 volts per square meter and couldn't kill it.
Wow. Bill, any comment on that?
I'm listening.
Okay.
And I'm impressed.
Okay. See, this is one of the reasons why we're talking about this, folks, because we're all about solutions, and this is a solution. You know, we already know, and Patrick you already know this is an eventuality. You know that at some point in time, China, Russia, anybody that wants our wealth, they're not going to just want to blow it out of the to kingdom come because of all the afterlife of radiation. They're going to want to take and destroy either by cyber attack or they're going to want to destroy it by an EMP. They could literally take out the entire grid by EMP, and only those who are prepared are going to survive. Isn't that what this boils down to?
Amen. Amen. Yes. You know, the Lord puts us where he needs us, Dave and Bill. So, you know, in looking at that in that regard, it's fascinating because we are pretty certain, the experts out there, they're pretty certain that there is fourth generation warfare that involves hypersonic technology and EMP tipped weapons. So this is it's a matter of time. You know, this will be, in my opinion, the next Pearl Harbor event. We're going to get sucker punched. Yes. It's going to be one of these types of things where, you know, one of the satellites that orbits the United States every 90 minutes is weaponized, or perhaps some balloon that errantly flies across the country is going to be weaponized. And it's going to be when you least expect it. You know, Murphy's Law will dictate you'll be at Home Depot picking up lumber, or you'll be at Chick-fil-A grabbing a sandwich whenever this thing happens. You know, if your callers and listeners haven't done so, they need to check out 1 Second After. I mean, that book, everybody I talk to, when we go do trade shows and conventions, that's probably the most talked about book when it comes to the subject. There's a lot of people, including myself, we all look up to you, Mr. Forstchen. So we talk about you pretty heartily.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll throw in quickly. The government in 1941. The government actually had reports that the Japanese were mounting Zeros and other type planes on carriers. The report was ignored. Oh, no, the Zero can't fly off a carrier. Well, we found out on December 7th, 1941 at 7:55 in the morning when the Zeros came in. In 10 minutes, it was shock and awe. Most of our Pacific fleet was gone. That is what an EMP is. It's a total surprise attack. Amen. That we had warnings, but we never followed up.
Yep. So the thing is that we already know between all three of us here that the hypersonic missiles have been developed. They have been tested. They actually exist. They have the capability of delivering an EMP style warhead 200 something miles up in the atmosphere over Kansas, which is, by the way, where EMP Shield is. They're made in the USA. And then they can detonate it. And then boop, the whole grid goes down in 1 second. And you're not prepared.
Yep. You know, like Bill indicated in his book, and like so many have advocated for, it's projected that within that first year after a tactical strike of such a magnitude, up to 90% or greater of the population will perish in one fashion or another due to lack of drugs or treatments or you name it, just civility and infighting. It's going to be madness.
Well, see, and Bill, his biggest thing with it, we've been talking about for the last hour, Patrick, is that, you know, we have to have some way to retrofit the grid, and the grid operators aren't doing a damn thing about it because nobody from NERC or FERC or anybody else is pressuring them to do anything. They're just sitting on profit, and they're whatever profit margin they have, they put in their pockets and call it a day. They don't care about the future, and that's the bigger problem. So what are we doing? I know that you were involved in Joint Base San Antonio, and that you had people down there, whether it was Rowdy or Andrew or whoever it was that was down there. I know you were involved in Joint Base San Antonio in that discussion. And the thing is that is anybody doing anything right now to retrofit on our own?
Well, you know,
can I throw a question? Can I throw a question in, because I've got to go in about 5 minutes? I'm going to ask our guests, what should the average American do using your product? And I'm pushing your product. What can the average citizen do on a limited budget to get himself ready using your product.
Thank you for that, Bill. I was going to ask it, but you did. God bless you. Go ahead, Patrick.
Yes, that's a great question, and again, thank you for asking it. So typically we recommend that people start with the vehicle model, and I get this crazy look whenever we talk to people about these things at trade shows, conventions, or whatever. But here's the thing: the average American commute is 41 miles every day. And so let's just say, again, Murphy's Law is going to dictate you're going to be on a radio show with one of the greatest talk show hosts in the history of radio, right? Or maybe you're talking with one of the greatest authors, right, in history. So that's when it's going to happen. So when's the last time I walked 21 miles home? Well, it's been a while. So we typically recommend start with your vehicle, put one of these things on your car, because at least you can get from point A to point B. Again, you're going to look like a Snickers bar at a weight loss convention, but at least you'll be able to get to where you need to go. You'll be able to get home. You'll be able to get to the daycare to pick up the kids. You'll be able to stop and pick up your spouse on the way home. You'll maybe even be able to stop at the pharmacy and pick up that prescription you've been putting off. But start with your vehicle and then work your way up. We are actively trying to protect the grid, one home, one house, one vehicle, one business at a time. There are counties out there now that we're working with. We're working with dozens of counties that have taken Executive Order 13865 that was issued by President Trump serious. And they are protecting their entire county's critical infrastructure from their triage, and critical infrastructure plan, all the way to their emergency management systems. So there's some people out there that are actively taking measures to do it, but I would recommend that the general start and then work their way up to their house and then their business.
Well, see, and the thing is, we were just talking about the fact that the pharmacy is going to be closed.
Okay. Second question. I got to go in about 2 minutes. Budget. How much?
Yeah, so with a code like the Power Hour TPH, these things get down to around $339 per unit. So realistically, there's some bundle deals on the website where if you're going to buy multiple units, you can save even deeper. So under $300 or less than the your deductible for your car insurance in the event of a lightning strike or your home or whatever, you can take care of this.
Great. Could you do me a favor? Send me your URL. You have my email address because I want to learn some more about your company. I think you're the people that are doing the job right. I hate to say it. I got to teach in a little while.
That's all right, Bill. We appreciate it. EMPshield.com is their website. And I'm on it all the time. But thank you, Dr. Bill Forstchen, for joining us. I wish we had more time because, God forbid, we have so much conversation with you. We're going to have you back on again soon, obviously.
It was a pleasure and an honor.
We're going to have to debate the Tesla as well because I got a different side to that. But I
want to ask about that, too. The Tesla, can you put one of these on the Tesla and protect the battery?
We cannot. We've tried. So we've tried to work with Tesla, but their voltages are they don't want us knowing that information. It's proprietary, so they've kind of kept us in the dark there. We've tried, but not yet. We're working on it.
Wow. All right.
And keep up the good work. Keep getting it out there. Okay.
I appreciate it,
Thanks,
Dr.
sir.
Bill Forstchen. Thank you so much for joining us. He's a busy guy, but I'm telling you what, Peter Pry was his mentor, Patrick.
Yeah.
So, you know about 1 second after, so you know about this guy's mindset and what we've been talking about for the last hour and 15 minutes with him. But I want to get into more of the detail. I've already got, and see, here's the thing about having an EMP shield in your car. I have them in both of mine.
Good.
And if we are stuck somewhere, see, numero uno, always keep your gas tank full.
Amen.
Because you don't know where you are at the point in time when this is going to hit. The whole object is to get home. And so, we have all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive vehicles. And so if we had to get off, here's the thing. If you're stuck in a major traffic jam somewhere on the interstate, which you would be, you have to have a way to get off the interstate or get off the roadway. And if everybody else is sitting there stagnant, you are a moving target, are you not?
Oh, 100%. 100% I agree with you. For years, Dave, I drove a Dodge Charger, and I physically loved driving that car. Every day I loved going. I drove a route that pretty much took me on a 25 to 30,000 mile per year trip. across central and northeastern Kansas, and I literally enjoyed driving that car. But what you're saying right there, it's true. It's people don't understand it. Again, like when this thing happens, you will be stuck wherever you're at. Every traffic jam, the worst traffic jam you can imagine, it will be like that, but on every highway, every side street, pretty much it will be stalled cars everywhere. It will be pandemonium and people under duress and panic.
And the thing is they will try to attempt to carjack you, which is why if you're in a state that has constitutional carry, you best pack a piece with you because wherever you are, because you don't know when you may have to use it to defend yourself, because somebody, all they got to do is just stand in the way of your car to try to stop you, to commandeer your vehicle. And that's when things are going to get ugly. And it's when every single car on the roadway stops dead in its tracks, it's because they don't have an EMP shield in their car to protect them. And then on top of that, you're the only one driving around and they're going, hey, what's with him? How come he can navigate? And see, then there's the arguendo out there that if you're driving a much older vehicle or certain kind of hardened vehicles, that they don't need an EMP shield. See, that's the arguendo of stuff, Patrick, that I'm hearing about from the other end of this conversation of people that go, wow, this is all overblown and there's no way, you don't have to have an EMP shield on your vehicle. That's not going to help. Certain vehicles will run without it. What's your take on that?
There's a good probability, and hopefully so, that your car will start right back up. But in the eventuality that it does not, think about this logically for a minute. Let's take a pragmatic view, 10,000-foot view at this, and then just dissect that. So the argument is that pre-1985 vehicles are less susceptible to EMP due to the lack of electronics, right? But let's think about that. What does an EMP do? It excites those freed electron molecules in the atmosphere. So these things are freed. They don't care. They're going to grab onto anything electrical, anything metal that they can find. So for instance, your alternator in your car, right? Even those pre-1985 vehicles, how many thousands of feet of copper wiring are inside your alternator, or the appendix on your starter that's electrically actuated, or even the magnets, in your distributor. So all of these things are going to be affected by an EMP, and there's a good chance that your pre-1985 vehicle won't work. I would rather err on the side of caution and put a device on your car either way.
Makes perfect sense. I mean, that is the logic of it, folks. So you want to argue about it, then you know what our toll-free number is, 844-769-2944. If you've got a better argument than what we've got, the thing is that we have ham operators out there that are already getting the antenna devices. And keep in mind, too, your car, also, a majority of all the cars out there have some sort of antenna to pick up the radio. And that is all connected to the battery where the EMP shield is connected to. And it's very easy. It's a 3-part device. And I've done this multiple times. I've actually taken it off my old car when I traded it in and put it on my new one myself. It's not a big deal. You open up the positive side of the battery and you basically unscrew it. You don't have to disconnect the battery. Put it on the positive side of the battery, tighten it back down. Go to the ground, find a solid place that's connected to the frame of the car, take the screw off, put the grommet in there, screw it back down. Now you're on ground. Then you go to the negative terminal of the battery and you do the same thing you did with the positive side, and you're going to see the green light on the device light up, which means it's working. That's it. That's simple. 3 screws, 3 pieces, 3 wires to hook up. It's not a big deal. It's very easy to do. So I don't see it's a no-brainer to me.
We have a real life story. So there was a gal the spring before last, testimony from this girl. So she's driving her car. She's sitting at a stoplight in town. Her car is struck by lightning. Ba-boom, right? Millions of joules of energy, right? In an infinitesimal application. So this lady pulls off the side of the road. Her car's still running. She's got scorch marks on the hood of her car. All it did was pop her right rear taillight. We sent her a $3.99 taillight. She was actually mad. She was mad at us. And we're like, why would you be mad about a thing like this? This saved your life. It saved your car. And she's like, well, here's the thing. I talked to my insurance company, and if I wouldn't have had your stupid device, they'd have totaled my car, and I got a new one.
Ow!
Really? Are you serious? That's what you're mad about? Wow. Wow. Yeah,
wow is right. That's blowing my mind. They would have totaled her car. The thing is she would have been stranded. Right. And possibly it would have juiced her too.
Yes, exactly. And I tell her, think of it this way. We told her it's like, this gives your car character, and at the very least, it adds to the selling factor. Some cars have racing stripes, yours has lightning strikes.
I tell you what, as far as the selling factor goes, I took the EMP shield off when I traded my vehicle in.
Yeah.
I go, hey, if you guys got a screwdriver to pliers, I said, I need to borrow that. I said, I got personal property attached to that vehicle I need to go take off because I am not letting you guys have that EMP shield. The next guy can buy his own. I know the value of these devices. And so, we have it on our vehicles. I've got it on my power panel on the pole. I've got it on my power panel in the house. I've got it on the battery and the generator. I've got it on the transfer switch and the generator. Awesome. So, we are totally outfitted here. And the thing is that we're moving into solar now, where we're dealing with Lion Energy. And the thing is Lion Energy is more than willing to work with you guys. Your technicians and Lion Energy get together, and we can retrofit and do whatever is necessary to make this thing work so people can exist if the unthinkable happens. So
outstanding.
Sales are doing really well at EMP Shield, are they not?
Yeah. We would love to give these things away if we could, Dave. In fact, our goal is Mission America. We actively want to protect the country. Again, like I said, from every vehicle, every house, every business up. I wish we could take a top-down perspective and get the federal government to do something about this because they have known about this threat for decades. Again, guys like Peter Pry, God rest his soul, they've advised every sitting president for the last 40 years on this threat, and yet somehow here we are, right? We're still dealing with this, and it's just a matter of time. But yeah, sales have been great this year. We've had another record-breaking year. And again, we cannot keep the vehicle models on the shelf for that reason, because again, I can't advocate hard enough that if you are going to look at this from a pragmatic view, take the steps to protect yourself right now, your family, your wife, your college kids that are 100 miles away at a college somewhere. Buy one of these devices and do like you said. It takes three wires and 5 minutes to hook this thing up, and just have yourself the peace of mind for less than the cost of your deductible.
Well, it took, with my wife's Mini Cooper, it took a lot longer than 5 minutes because I had to take half the components off the vehicle in order to get to the battery. So, some of those newer cars are going to be a little trickier than most. It's going to be more than a 5-minute job than you would on your Chevy pickup. But anyway, aside from that, the beauty of it is EMPshield.com is the website. And of course, TPH, which is the Power Hour, or DK, which is my name, will get you this discount. And so you need to understand that this is what we are doing to help, because we're all about solutions. If you don't at least take the step, you're not going to know. You won't be protected. And people, there's a whole lot of doubting Thomases out there. And if we weren't taking this seriously, Senator Bob Hall from Texas, Joint Base San Antonio, none of this would have happened. We have counties literally and police departments in Kansas literally that have seen all of this and have taken it to heart. And they've actually retrofitted their generators, their backup generators. So at least they have a way with the, God willing, whatever supplies of fuel they have limited, to be able to power their generator to communicate with police departments and communicate with their units on the road. Now, go ahead and tell me a little bit quickly while we have a couple minutes left about how they did this.
So in this particular county that we started, the very first county was Coffee County. It's in where we're located. Our home office is located there in Burlington, Kansas. We actually have a nuclear power plant operating in the county about 20 miles from us. And so looking at this again from this kind of 10,000-foot view, what critical infrastructure is absolutely important in the county should we be attacked? Right? How do we keep this hub zone here in the Midwest active and open for at least the sake of running power and water, sewer, transportation, fuel, those types of things? And so the county took a look at their emergency management plan that they work and coordinate with the state and then the feds. And then they pretty much took a top-down view of all the things in the county that would need to be up and running should we have some type of continuation of government type situation on hand.
So this is the thing. It's all about the government protecting its own infrastructure, and we, the people, have to fend for ourselves. That's why we're having this conversation.
100%.
I understand what you're doing, and this is a good thing because then you have the community, at least the basic services and infrastructure prepared. But otherwise, I mean, it's going to get crazy out there, folks. EMPshield.com. Patrick Barnes, we're going to have you back again, obviously, to continue this conversation. There are so many questions, so many answers out there. If you go to EMPshield.com and use those promo codes, you can get a discount on it like I did. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time for today. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. We have to protect ourselves, folks. Your government is not going to do it for you. We will see you tomorrow. Take care.